Meet the Author with Dave Rogers. Have you ever thought about what it's like to be an introvert? Have you ever thought about starting a business? Well, today on Meet the Author, we have an entrepreneur from Singapore, Mr. Chow Boon, also known as Charles, and his book is about business introvert. Hello, Charles Chow Boon. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's fantastic to have you here today, and it's been a very long time since we first met. Would you like to share a little bit about how we met, and then we can go into the book?
Well, I think we go quite a long way back in the year 2000. That is when I just started a business organization in 1999, and the following year, I get to meet you in a house setting, but in a business environment. That's where I get the first coaching from you, Dave, you can remember. I still remember what you said to me on that day until today. Because at that time, I was very new as an entrepreneur. Every time the word that I use is we. And you teach me that, no, Chow Boon, you should use the word I. And that's what I remember till today.
Fantastic. I hope that's helped you a little bit. I know that you often talk about we, yet when you're looking to make impact, I, because I'm interested in you. And so do me a favor and tell us a little bit about you and why did you write Business Introvert?
All right. So I come from Singapore and I moved to Canada in year 2011. And I've been living here since then. I have been an entrepreneur most of my life until 2008. Then after that, I moved to Canada. And since then, I have been a working professional in this corporate world. I started writing this book because I find that I want to get back to the entrepreneurship environment. I want to go back to business. And I start looking back at how I was as an entrepreneur back in 1999 when I started my business. And I started off, I am an introvert myself, very much an introvert. And how an introvert can actually do well in a business world where you are actually, people would think that, oh, to do well in the business, you need to be an extrovert, you need to be loud, you need to be brash. And that's how this thing came about. I evaluate myself again and see how can I use my past experience to launch into a business again. And in the book, I spelled some simple strategies for introverts to thrive as entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. It's very well, it's needed. It's something that introverts tend not to be very outgoing, and it's something that you have decades of experience, and there's a pride that you have about being an introvert, and you've got experience now as an entrepreneur and also as somebody who works in corporate. So if you were to share perhaps one main takeaway from the book, what would it be?
The main takeaway is actually taking action. The whole book actually talks about I as an entrepreneur, how do I evolve into not an extrovert, but to suit the environment, and that's by taking action. And everything has to start today. Now, I have been wanting to write a book since 14 years ago. And I never get to realize that because I did not take action until last year. End of last year, I decided to write the book again. And I literally took action and how this book came about.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. And it sort of moves me into the next question, because that's great advice for the introvert, for the entrepreneur, the intrapreneur, the person who might be working in a business. What advice would you give to new authors, Chow Boon?
Okay, let me share with you how this book came about. After two attempts, no, the third attempt, I then successfully published the book. The first attempt is that I wanted to write a book. That was my dream. All right. I have been a avid reader. I love reading books, and that's how I came to know about the organization which I started in 1999 from reading a book. And I wanted to write a book because I find that if I see my name appearing on the front cover, I feel very good. So in 14 years ago, I wanted to write, but that didn't get me into writing because I don't have a story to write. I just want to write, that's all. So that idea didn't take off. And then in the year 2014, I revisited this idea of publishing a book. Again, I gather some 10 people to come together to contribute stories to my book. That didn't take off because it is still not my story. Until last year, I decided to write the story of my own, and that got me into publishing this book. So the message is that you have to have your own story to internalize it, and then that's where it happened.
That's fantastic advice. So it's about going inside and starting to write and write and write
And right,
and edit and perhaps even give someone else the editing, the layout. Have a team, make it a project, make it fun.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Were those things that you did to move it into completion? Because the fact that you shared your story is fantastic. In putting it together, what were some of the key people that you brought together to make it a reality?
I would say that when I decided to write a book, I shared with a friend that I wanted to write a book, and it is this friend of mine that has kept me going. This friend of mine checked on me, and I was accountable to her, that I will finish the book. So that is the very key person that I think in writing a book, you need someone to be accounted for.
Actually, I talk about business mentors. This is a writing mentor, somebody that has maybe been ahead a little bit in the journey and can share it and can reassure you and can show you the way. And I have a feeling that you're a great mentor, particularly in the arena of working with people who are introverted. You've got the experience as an entrepreneur, as an intrapreneur, and now as an author. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's ask the question about if a magic wand here, if we could get your book, and actually if you got it, show it up, put it up. If we can get your book into the hands of somebody in the next 3 to 6 months, who would it be?
Can I give to 2%?
Absolutely. If you got 2 or 3 or 4 even, because that's the type of clarity that I like from you.
Okay. The first person is I would like to give it to my mother. Now, my mother couldn't read a single word of English, but I would like her to have this book, and I would like to read it to her because I actually launched this book on my birthday, my coming birthday in November. And I always very grateful for my mom to have given me this life that I can enjoy and this life with her.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. Now the second person I would like to give is Sir Richard Branson.
Virgin Galactic, the Virgin Group. Sir Richard. Right. Yes.
Now he is an introvert, but he behaved very flamboyant, very colorful, right? So I would really love to have him to read my book.
Fantastic. So Richard, if you hear this, actually, I'll be sending a message also to Tony Fernandez because those two are really fun together. And we'll see if we can get Sir Richard to get a copy of your book in the next little while. Chow Boon, what is the way people can get a hold of your book, or tell us a little bit more about the book launch?
Okay, the book will be launched on November the 9th. It is available on Amazon, and in the Asia, you'll be available in the Shopee. Shopee is like the equivalent of Amazon in Asia.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So these are all in paperbacks, and they can purchase it. And I will provide the link once it's ready.
Actually, if possible, we'll put the link below also. That's great. So that's wonderful. So how do people get a hold of it? And what, again, I like to ask a question about this idea that you are really into books. What was your favorite book in the last year?
My favorite book,
Yes, that you've read in the last year, or last 2 years, something that's really resonated with you.
I read this book on, it's called Miracle Morning. So it is about talking about you waking up early and what you exactly that you do during that morning hours. Now, I have been a morning person all my life until I read this book called Miracle Morning. It spelled out some kind of a routine for you to do, to meditate, to read books, to get affirmation. And all these things is done within half an hour. And you're good to start the day off earlier than anybody who is still in the dreamland.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
And I have a feeling you're doing that a lot with your Facebook these days, with your nature walks, with your time in Vancouver. You're sharing nature with people. And if folks have an opportunity, I'd love them to connect with you. We'll put your Facebook link down below, your LinkedIn, and other ways to connect with you so that people who might be interested in business, introvert, and some of the miracles that you're experiencing in Vancouver. And if you had one last message for our audience today, what would it be, Chow Boon?
Well, I will go back to the same message as we have to take action if we have a dream. Otherwise, the dream will always remain as a dream.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time today. This is Meet the Authors with Chow Boon, also known as Charles. The book is Business Introvert. If you've got a question, please add a comment below. Share this with friends, particularly our friends from Singapore, Canada, and all around the world. Come join Chow Boon and his team for the launch of the book in November. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.